The Michael movie is coming out in just a matter of a few days. And the burning question that everyone has, where's the sequel? I want to know, you want to know. We got the director, Antoine Fuqua, and he's talking about directly is going to break down MJ's legacy and where this sequel is going to begin. So let's check this out. Let's watch and react to it in real time. I'll drop my comments. You drop yours below. And hit that subscribe button right now. I'm waiting. All right, I'm just going to start anyway.
Just have all these songs in my head. Just gotta get them out.
You wanna stay alive, better do what you can, so beat it, just beat it. I need that Black Tree TV. I need that Black Tree TV. Look at the black directors that's been
big shout out to Black Tree TV, man.
Successful in this industry. You like pick such a diversity of films. My first question is like, even with this, like you have to go back to your short exit to where you've written the script.
Excellent. You did your homework. Yeah.
So as a director, we usually see directors that get into, write and do you ever like to solo the script, or how does that work for you, not having, been a writer on all these amazing movies that you've done?
Well, I mean, I worked with some great writers, and I respect them, man. And the way I work with most writers is that I'll do some writing and give them my notes. I don't take credit for writing because I didn't write it from beginning to end. Those guys are brilliant at what they do. I have written quite a bit. I'm writing some stuff now. I'm going to do more of that now. But, I think sometimes you just got to hone in on your craft, one thing for a while.
I think it has to be a easy thing to write a movie like this, and also pretty difficult. The source material is there. Everyone knows the source material, not just some people. Everyone knows the source material. Like, his music, the beats of his life. So I would think that if you would go out and interview the family and interview some of these people who were involved, you would be able to come up with, it should be relatively easy to write a movie like this. I'm not saying that it's easy to write a movie, period, but like, relatively speaking, this isn't something that you just have to come up with the ultimate concept in and of itself. But it's also difficult because everyone knows everything. So how do you make it entertaining? How do you give us as an audience things that we haven't seen before? How do you give us as an audience that level of excitement that you get from something that's new and fresh when you have source material that everyone knows? So it's like a two-edged sword. I'm interested to know what you guys think in the comments. Would it be easy to do a movie like this where you know everything about the person, or does that make it difficult?
And then lean into the other thing. So I've done that on purpose, and there's things that I've written I don't take credit for it because that's not the job.
This Michael purposely has goes for an era and stops, or around bad, but there's so much story for Michael to tell. I mean, I think it started in the 60s.
All right, here's the juicy part, I think.
Career.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to count your chickens, but let's say that there's a sequel. Like, what other parts of eras that would you like to get into and see Jaafar come back? Because he did an amazing job.
Amazing job, right?
Like what?
It's a lot, man. I mean, it is a lot. There's the whole Neverland of it all and all that. There's the Super Bowl, right? Remember that moment, iconic stuff. Remember we went on tour. Another Part of Me and all those songs.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to see that era of his life. Just knowing those later beats that happen and seeing his megastardom, but during that megastardom, also see his descent into depression, also see him struggle with opioids like he got addicted to, maybe see some of those vices that he had, those potential court cases, how those things took a toll on him. I think that the first movie is going to be very celebratory, and the second movie is definitely going to be heavier and have more of a somber note. So I'm kind of excited to see that aspect as well. I think this one is going to be, the first one is going to be, highly entertaining for the nostalgia factor. And I think the second movie has an opportunity to really do a deep dive into aspects of his life that everyone does not exactly know about. And maybe portray him in a light that hasn't been shined on him before.
That has a lot to do with the business of it all. If it does really well, and knock on wood, and we're having conversations about the story now, but nothing solidified until after it opens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that they still have story beats that they want to hit. And I would, from everything we know, they filmed a ton of footage for this initial movie. It was initially going to just be one movie. So this was the footage that was filmed was then chopped and edited down into one film and then going to be used for another film as well. So as I've said multiple times in my videos, I know that they're going to have to go back and do reshoots. They're going to have to go back and do things to extend the story that they have in the that they've already recorded into this second movie. So it'll be really important that synergy is there. And I, for one, am very excited to see Jaafar's portrayal of Michael, as his body and his face changed through the years too. And that's something that I think a lot of people sort of gloss over in our fandom of Michael, is that his physical appearance, definitely changed over the years. So to see someone else sort of act that out, it will be interesting to see how that goes and if it's authentic and remains authentic, because I think that this version of Jaafar is able to be very authentic with his look, very authentic with his mannerisms, but Michael changed as time went on. So I can't wait to see if he's able to pull that off as well.
Told, but like, what was
Fast
the
forwarding through
films
that because we don't want any
you watched
copyright
as a
strikes.
kid that made you really say that this was something you wanted to do, that made you interested in going to those late night movies and doing all that? Like, when you look back, like, was there some films that really pushed the envelope more than others for you?
Yeah, I mean, first time I saw Kurosawa's Seven Samurai blew my mind. That's why I redid Magnificent Seven. Even the original Mag 7 was, Kurosawa's was different because it was the Japanese thing, black and white. I went to the theater to see that. When I saw Apocalypse Now for the first time, blew my mind, man. Godfather for sure. But I used to sit at home and watch movies with my grandmother. I watched all the James Cagney movies. I used to watch White Heat, Public Enemy, all that stuff. And it was a world I understood, as far as those films go.
It's interesting to see him go back and talk about some of those movies that had an influence on him in his young life. I wonder how many of those you can take aspects of and roll them into this film. I know that they fit with other films that he's done, but when you're doing a biopic, and especially one like this that is going to be almost note for note, beat for beat for a character and a person that we know of and know in the ins and outs of completely, I don't know how much you can rely on your different aspects of past filmmaking, but knowing that he has those things that he likes and those things that he has been able to enjoy and idolize in the past does show me that he's going to place that care into this movie as well. So yeah, man, I'm super excited about this movie. If you can't tell, we have tons of videos. There's a whole playlist on this Michael 2026 biopic. So please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop those comments. Let me know what you think. How's this movie gonna end? How do you think? Where is it gonna end? How is it gonna end? And where are we gonna pick up with for that second movie that comes out? Let me know what you guys think, because I got a feeling it'll be 2028 and we're gonna get that film then. So we'll see. What do you guys think? Let me know. My name is JD. Hit that notification bell while you're here. And I will see you when I see you. Peace and love.